The streets didn't suddenly feel safer. They felt different. More eyes, more presence, more attention unevenly applied. Patrols increased. Footsteps echoed where they hadn't been before. Uniforms appeared at corners that had long gone unwatched. But attention does not arrive cleanly. It arrives with pressure. People noticed the change immediately. Routes shifted, habits adjusted. Movement became more deliberate. Being watched altered behaviour, but it did not alter vulnerability equally. For some, attention meant reassurance. For others, it meant scrutiny. Questions replaced silence. Observation replaced neglect. But protection remained uncertain, because being under watch is not the same as being safe. I'm Jenny. I love history and I'm fascinated by the moments where human psychology collides with it in the worst possible ways. In this series, I explore crime through context rather than spectacle, asking not just what happened, but what kind of world made it possible. This episode is about attention, about what happens when a place that has long been ignored becomes suddenly visible. Attention changes behaviour, not because it resolves danger, but because it rearranges it. Streets that once felt overlooked became crowded with presence. Patrols passed more frequently, questions were asked more often. Movement was observed rather than ignored. For some residents, this shift offered reassurance, a sense that something was finally being done. For others, it introduced a new kind of unease. Being watched meant being assessed. Who belonged? Who lingered? Who moved too often or too late? Attention did not fall evenly. It followed familiar lines. Respectability. Appearance. Assumption. Those who already lived under scrutiny felt it intensify. Those who had been invisible were now visible, but not necessarily protected. Being under watch reshaped daily routines. People adjusted when they left home, which routes they took, how long they stayed in one place. Familiar paths no longer felt neutral. A pause could attract attention. A detour could raise suspicion. Normal behaviour became something to manage. Increased surveillance did not erase fear. It redistributed it. For some, fear shifted outwards. For others, it turned inward, towards being seen, being questioned, being misunderstood. Policing under attention is not the same as policing under care. When eyes turn towards a place, expectations follow. Results are demanded. Explanations are expected. Reassurance becomes something that must be seen happening. This kind of pressure changes how authority moves. Visibility becomes performance. Patrols are noticed, stops are seen, presence is counted. But presence alone does not guarantee safety. It guarantees scrutiny. In Whitechapel, attention did not erase existing hierarchies. It intensified them. Those already considered respectable were more likely to be reassured. Those already considered suspect were more likely to be questioned. Being under watch meant different things depending on who you were. For some, it meant protection. For others, it meant exposure. And exposure carries risks of its own. To be seen too clearly can invite judgment rather than help, so people adapted again. They learned where attention lingered, where streets felt safest to avoid, how to move in ways that appeared unremarkable. Surveillance reshaped the city, not into something safer, but into something tighter. Fear did not arrive as a single feeling. It spread unevenly, in fragments, in conversations half finished, in looks exchanged and then quickly withdrawn. People talked more, but said less. Rumours circulated where information was scarce. Stories filled the gaps left by uncertainty. Not all of them were accurate, but all of them carried emotion. Fear rarely needs precision to take hold. It needs repetition. Every unfamiliar face felt noticeable. Every pause felt deliberate. Every silence felt heavier than before. Ordinary behaviour took on new meaning. Attention sharpened perception. But it also distorted it. And once fear becomes collective, it no longer belongs to any single event. It belongs to the place itself. Being watched did not resolve uncertainty, it transformed it. Attention narrowed, it focused on particular streets, particular behaviours, particular kinds of people. But danger does not always follow attention. Sometimes it adapts to it. Increased surveillance created the appearance of control. More patrols, more questions, more visible effort. Yet safety remained uneven, because protection was still shaped by judgment. Under watch, the city felt tense rather than reassured. Alert rather than safe. Fear had not disappeared. It had become organised. And once a place has been watched in this way, it is never quite unwatched again. This story was never really about visibility alone. It was about what visibility does, who it protects, who it exposes, and who remains vulnerable, even under scrutiny. In Whitechapel, attention arrived, but it did not arrive evenly. And the city learned slowly and uneasily that being watched is not the same as being safe. History doesn't repeat itself exactly, but it does show us how fear takes shape. Not only through absence, but through pressure. Thank you for listening. Until next time, take care and be gentle with what history leaves behind.